What did I have for lunch? We're just gonna roll with it and then you go. I think I struggled with like depression and anxiety before, but I always thought that that was who I was, that this was just who I was. You know, there wasn't really an understanding and awareness of like, maybe this is something that can be changed or something which, so it was always something which, but it kind of was always pushed down and bubbling beneath the surface, you know, and a lot of who I became was an image of who I wanted to be perceived as a lawyer, right? And so when I went and lived in China for a year, and you know, like moved to a new country, completely different culture, everything is different, but I realized I was having the same types of problems with people. So I realized that the only thing that was the same was me. So actually it must be something that I'm doing that's creating certain feedback from other people. Because I was on a university campus with like 20,000 students and they all went home during the summer holiday. And so I was in this, the university was the size of a town, and you can imagine it was just a ghost town where everyone was gone. And I spent a month, literally a month by myself. And I realized I just did not like my own company. If I'm not comfortable with myself, like, you have to be comfortable with yourself at the end of the day, because you can't run away from yourself. And that was a big realization, is that, right, I need to actually start spending time with myself because I can't run away from myself, you know? And so that was kind of like the first, right, something needs to change. I didn't know what, and I didn't really, know what mental health was in the grand scheme of things at that time. But it's just like, okay, first things first, I need to just spend time with myself and understand who I am and why do I feel this way and why do I see the world this way and why do people respond this way to me. That really got me thinking into, all right, there's something not clicking within myself, there's conflicts that are happening which is not allowing me to be comfortable with in my own company. I devoured like personal development material after material, websites, videos, and but a lot of it, I think at the time, it was just adding layers on top of who I was. And so it wasn't, there was somewhat of going deeper in, but there was still just adding layers on top of something at the very core which was not integrated, I guess is the best way to describe it. Like telling yourself, I should be this, I should be that, are all these layers that you put on top of yourself, right? And then we just drill on top of all these behaviors on top of that. And and even then when I was going through the personal development, it helped in a lot of ways, but again, I was drilling myself into being someone else that was different from who I was before, but it still wasn't me. Literally just turned up to see this Gestalt psychotherapist, and she just completely like blew my world open, and I was like, oh my god, this is like just a start of such a deeper process, and it was stripping past all those layers and seeing something very vulnerable and core about who I was, and these conflicts within me that I had like pushed away from myself, that it wasn't, not integrating those parts in myself, it was like pushing all these parts away that I didn't feel were me, I've changed every year. Like even I look back a year, I'm like, it's just been kind of like an exponential growth of just coming back to myself. This is the thing. It's not like, oh, I've become smarter or this or that. It's like all the experiences I've had in my life, I've been able to understand and complete them in myself. I wouldn't say all, I say a lot of them, and so that I'm more spontaneous and here right now. So like all the baggage from the past, I've been able to work through, and so that any situation that comes up now, I can work with it more spontaneously. I feel like I'm just me, and that's the best way I can describe it. And I feel really happy with who I am on a daily basis, and that was not something I could have said a few years ago. It was always this constant striving for something else, because I wasn't fundamentally who I felt I was inside, wasn't complete. And so I was always chasing something outside, but when I worked more on my inner world, the outer world kind of figured itself out. That's the end game, and that's really for me what mental health is to be your full, creative, spontaneous, expressed self.